Hi, this is Marina from Darkstar Astrology, bringing you the full moon in May 29 at 8 degrees Sagittarius, and it's another dramatic lunation. Now this one is going to be on fixed star Antares, which is the red giant found in the heart of the Scorpion, and it's conjunct this full moon. So if it was just a mere new moon, that would be enough, but since this is a full moon, the sun will also fall opposite on Antares' nemesis Aldebaran, which is always exactly opposite Antares at roughly 10 degrees Gemini. And both these stars are powerful royal stars according to the Persians. So these two form part of the seasonal cross of the solstices and equinoxes, and at one time all the four stars fell on these points, but they've slipped due to precession. Fomalhaut and Regulus are the other two royal stars, and together they make up the fixed cross that you'll often see on the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And Fomalhaut is the eagle, which is Aquarius. Regulus is the lion, which is obviously Leo. Aldebaran is the bull, which is Taurus. And Antares is the eagle of Scorpio. So these important stars are also the four archangels, the four directions, and the four seasons as well. So this full moon is in Sagittarius Decan 1, and Austin Kopok calls this decan poison arrow because Sagittarius 1 is represented by the Ace of Wands tarot card, which is found in it's the Crowley deck. It's also called the Thoth deck as well. So at this full moon, we burst out of the scorpionic hostage where we've been kept captive, and it's a fresh and urgent place for the moon, but at the same time it's not blindly impulsive. So those touched by this full moon will not strike until it's utterly sure of its target, and then it will hit the bullseye straight off. Yes, with the moon here we are swift, graceful, and to the point. It is also more likely to be competitive in a less physical manner than you would expect from a sign with hooves. With the shadowy lone wolf prowling through this zone, Scorpio's influence is still fresh, and there are also poisonous snakes in the grass, Hermes Slinky, caduceus, and voodoo dollies nailed onto trees here. Now the aspect pattern is really interesting in that it contains a boomerang yod encased in an open mystic rectangle, which all sounds really fancy, doesn't it? Yet the moon itself is not really aspected by any planets apart from a very weak quincunx from Venus, which I don't think I'm even going to bother to count. But there's enough going on with the very intense fixed stars to be worried about any small fry. What we see brewing is the gorgeous water grand trine, which will perfect the very next day when Venus hits 15 degrees of Cancer. So a few days before this full moon, we have the second exact Jupiter trine Neptune. And the second and last one is going to be August the 19th this year. So I'm calling this a fairy tale aspect because this trine is in water, which is just so dreamy. This version has Jupiter on religious star Achenar, which means well placed. It promises happiness and success by giving good morals, faithful adherence to one's religious beliefs or philosophical inclinations. And according to tradition, Achenar is credited with bestowing high office in the church, especially if conjunct with Jupiter. Now, it's not conjunct Jupiter, but it is conjunct Neptune, which I think would work very much in the same way since they are both the rulers of Pisces. Now, since this full moon is ruled by Jupiter, then I would imagine that Jupiter trine Neptune will also colour the interpretation of this moon. So from my Jupiter trine Neptune post, I said that traditionally Jupiter trine Neptune is extremely idealistic and esoteric. It's the archetypical guru, mystic, healer, or spiritual teacher. It can herald someone coming into your life who serves as a great teacher or mentor, but there can be a tendency to idolize that person too. It's an extremely glamorous connection, almost fairy tale. The temptation to go full-on fantasy mode with this transit is easy, and it will prove hard to keep your feet on the ground. However, there is also great compassion and empathy here too. This aspect can cause an outpouring of charity to the unfortunate, but as always, we must be careful that honest and perhaps naive people's good natures are not taken advantage of. There will always be opportunists who seek the gullible and profit from this sympathetic and idealistic atmosphere. So let's look at Antares in a bit more detail. The interpretation for him is popular, broad-minded, interested in philosophy, science and metaphysics, liable to change religious opinions, influential friends, favourable for business and domestic matters, active in local affairs, great power, honour and wealth, but benefits may not prove lasting. That's the thing with these royal stars. They're a bit intense, but then they don't really have the stamina. Danger of violence, sickness, drowning or assassination. Then another interpretation is emotional turmoil and a willingness to face drama, becoming obsessed with family matters or health issues. Crimes of passion are in the news. Oh, that's from Bernadette Brady. The first quote was from Robson. Now, Antares is found right in the heart of the Scorpion, and it's a beautiful flame red and emerald green binary star. I've already written exclusively about Antares and found him to be quite the anti-hero. So, you know, he's the anti-hero of Aldebaran, his opposite. And some of my Antares keywords are intense, fiery, compulsive, primal, survivors, trailblazers, combative, driven, maniacal, I can't pronounce my own words, maniacal, pushy, human, bestial, ravenous, rampant, wicked, devil's advocate, teasing, taunting, provoking, and it's the phoenix from the flames and a mover and shaker. Because Antares is a royal star, it will give worldly success, but however, Antares' ambition can be quite ruthless as he finds it hard to modulate himself. Bernadette Brady suggests it also indicates that one can be the cause of their own undoing. The natural theme of this star is to generate success by going through a cleansing life and death experience. It can suggest one seeks intensity even when not required. By its mythological symbolism, Antares indicates extremes, whether by choice or by not. So for the full moon healing meditation this month, you can help exorcise those full moon demons and see in the dark. Make the gods work for you by immersing yourself in Sagittarius Decan 1 energy. So as I always say, if your angles, sun or moon, are in the mutable signs Decan 1, you might find that you attract so-called bad boys or bad girls into your life, or anti-heroes around this time. So to ward them off and slow down any tailgaters, try focused meditation with these healing materials and props. So you have the Eight of Wands to gaze at, turnips to eat, red roses to adorn your table, amethyst crystal to hold, music in the key of F sharp to listen to, frankincense, ginger and star anise essential oils in a bath. So remember that full moons are always there to help us purge and release things from our lives. So we need to kind of make sure that we're in control of it so that nobody is really forcing our hands. Sometimes we can let go of things that we regret later due to heightened emotions, and the full moon's kind of way of making us just go, sod it, you know, I'm just going to leave now and not have any patience. So all things considered, there are certain contradictory influences at work at this full moon. We have the effect of the romantic and fairy tale like Jupiter trine Neptune, which appears to slice off the capstone of the Yod pyramid, pointing at Saturn on ruthless faces, no less, which is a fixed star faces. It's quite a garish full moon, actually, like sort of glow in the dark makeup. So you can imagine spooky shamanic face paint and gothy Mexican Day of the Dead type imagery. But at this full moon, the behaviour could be unexpectedly covert as well, even in the guise of a scary clown. they could actually get away with murder because they look too obvious. So it's a bit like a double bluff, you know. So believe your eyes. If it screams villain, then it actually is a villain. So Antares is the anti-hero, but at least it's honest about it. What you see is definitely what you get. So if you do happen to get involved with a bad boy or bad girl, then you only have yourself to blame if, despite your best attempts at slaying their demons for them, they still remain bad. But on the other hand, there are cases where a rough diamond is made good, and this is also very possible with this full moon. Sometimes healing water trines can actually perform miracles, but you have to steer them gently towards the right direction. Full moons are great for bringing matters to a head so that you can heal them, and this moon then will be perfect for shining a torch on your own or others' demons. Those glow-in-the-dark tattoos will forever shine as a reminder of what your pet project was before it became illuminated. This is not to say that your beloved or old self will remain branded forever by its previous baddie behaviour. The luminous scar is just there to remind us that we cannot expect miracles to happen overnight. However, as long as the intention for good is there, then the diamond is worth waiting for. So I think my rant this week is going to be about, well, it's connected with Akanar, because when I was reading it just now, I thought, this is really handy, because I really wanted to talk about spirituality and beliefs and religions anyway, especially in terms of the March for Freedom that happened in England, in London, a couple of weeks ago, I think it is now. And by the time this goes up, it's going to be probably a month ago. But anyway, this March for Freedom, I found have really mixed feelings about it, because when I first watched it, it started off with just thousands of these Football Alliance guys, you know, just working class guys and women as well, it wasn't just guys, marching for freedom of speech. And it was so nice to see. I haven't seen this for a long time in England. Patriots, you know, they were all there with their British flags, and at the front of the march was this guy playing the bagpipes, and it was so touching. The weird thing is, you know, I'm not English. I haven't got any English blood in me whatsoever. But I just looked at it, I thought, bless you. Thank God, you know, you've still got some feeling about your nationality, because, you know, in Italy, Italians are really passionate about being Italian, and British are just made to feel really ashamed of it. And so I was just cheering them on. I had tears in my eyes. I just thought, oh, bless you, all of you, you know, just, and there was, like, you know, women and guys, and they were also going, Tommy Robinson, who's, you know, Mr. Working Class guy, who's sort of the inspiration for all this. But then when it got to the end, there was this kind of like sort of speeches by these supposedly the freedom of speech people, and it was, you know, I like Lauren Southern, I think she's all right, but and I like Tommy Robinson, but it just turned into this kind of Islam bashing thing, and it seemed like the working class guys who were watching it were watching Milo give a speech about travelling in economy class and how he had a £14,000 jacket. I just thought, and then there was like a drag queen as well, you know, fine drag queens, but how does that kind of square with just working class people who just want freedom of speech? It just seemed like they were really trying their best to make it look quite lefty, so that people wouldn't call them all far right, which they end up calling it that anyway. They called it a far right march in The Guardian, or no, Telegraph, I think it was, or was it the Daily Mail? I don't know, who cares? The media, they're all the bloody same anyway. So they ended up calling it that anyway. So, my God, if it had just been the British working class march bit, you know, with the bagpipes and the British flags, what the hell would they call them? They would have just, I don't know. But anyway, you could see, you know, the setup with the big video screen, you know, that's obviously money, you know. So there's some money. Where is that money coming from? Who's funding this? Is it controlled opposition? And then I think, just the sort of people involved. I'm not going to say the name of the sorcerers that may have been behind it, but you know, it kind of seemed a little bit neocon-y, shall we say, even though the speakers, you know, Lawrence Southern is obviously not a neocon, but you know, all these kind of freedom people, where was this is the thing, if you're going to kind of defeat Islam, how are you going to defeat Islam by doing what you did in that bloody speech? All right, yes, it's important to talk about it, but the real problem is the loss of spirituality in the West. That's really basically what it boils down to. And family values and conservative values. And basically conservative and family values are Christian values. They basically are. Yeah, I think they had a picture of, they had Brittany Pettibone up there as well. And I know she's Catholic. But there was no kind of talk about the birth rates, you know. Like I said, there's no use kind of like bashing Islam if you are going to just not do anything about, you know, your own population demographics, because of course Islam's going to trump you every time because they're patriarchs. You know, it's a patriarchal religion. The women have more children. The family values are strong. They're very united. They're very patriotic, and they're very, very much loyal to their group. So you're going to lose if you're not. So really, the only antidote to that is to bring back the family values that we've lost through. And you know, because I've said this a million times on my channel, I mean, this is the reason I'm here, really, is to bring back the divine feminine, and to talk about the value of being a mother and being a carer as a woman, and to heal, because that's our job, and to bring harmony. So I've kind of decided now, I mean, I've done a lot of talking about politics, and to be honest, I haven't really got the stomach for it anymore. I'm about bringing harmony and love. I don't want to be getting angry about Islam, because they're human beings. They're religious, spiritual human beings, just like Christians are, and I respect their religion, but I want them to respect mine too. But the only reason, if we don't respect our religion and spirituality and family values, then why the hell, how can we hope that they will respect them too? You know, because we just haven't got them anymore. Or if we have, it's just dying in the West. And at the end of the day, the only people that are going to survive, the only way the West is going to survive is through the people who are actually having children, who are actually breeding. And mostly these are Christians. These are religious people, you know, so religious people are going to outbreed the atheists. So Milo, as much as I do like what he has to say a lot of the time, but not on that speech. I didn't actually watch it, all of it, so I don't know. I just turned off. I just sped through it when he started going on about economy class and just being kind of camp. You know, it's fine, but that's not gonna defeat Islam, is it? And it's not really about defeating anyone or being anti anyone anymore. It's about being pro your own family, and pro love and pro spirituality and respect for yourself. And then I think others will then respect you. So I think I've said all I've got to say about politics, the left and the right, and I'm not going to try and figure out Trump anymore, because, in the news we've seen about the whole the whole thing about he stopped funding for the white helmets, but then at the same time there's the embassy in Jerusalem now, the US embassy there, and he's just, I know, I've just lost it with trying to keep up with what's going on there. It's just too confusing, and it's I think it's a deliberate distraction from our spirituality. And the same thing with Islam as well. The whole thing's is a big distraction. Some of these terrorist attacks, I'm sure, were pretty much. I don't know how many I can believe were actually true. I know some people. I don't want to get into that either. But if there's lies on one side, there's going to be lies on the other. On the left and the right, and the only way to really ensure that the West doesn't die out, because that's what it's doing, as I said before, birth rates, is to live. It's basically all that's it. Live. I'm pro-life, and then people are going to go, oh, if you're pro-life, then you're going to be sort of anti-abortion and a woman's right, blah blah blah. Oh, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't want to get into that argument either. But it's quite a good thing to be pro-life, whether it's got some baggage attached to it or negative things attached to it. I don't care. I just want us to be happy, healthy, loving, and I want my daughter and her descendants to grow up in what I grew up in. So you have to think of the future, and you have to think of your children. And it's easy for those who don't have children to be pretty much live in the moment and what about my feelings? It's no, because the feelings are fleeting, and your feelings are fleeting, and when you're dead and gone, you're gone. So it's better. I don't care if that offends some people's feelings for the future of my daughter and for other children. It's so what? Don't care. So I think I've said all I need to say about it, and it doesn't deny everything that I've posted before, because there's definitely a clash of civilizations here. There is. But we need to have an immune system. That's basically all it boils down to. You can work with people who have the plague if your immune system is strong, and so the same thing is like if your country gets invaded by, I don't want to, oh God, that sounds awful, doesn't it? You know what I mean. Okay, I'm not saying that immigrants are like the plague, but this is why I don't want to do these things anymore, because I'm pretty much sick of treading on eggshells now. So this is going to be my last blast of it, really. I may come back to doing geopolitical videos again in the future, but at the moment I just want to do the moons. I just want to look after people's souls and psyches, and make sure people are happy, and be loving, and not be bashing other people and being a victim for your own, because you're weak yourself and you haven't looked in at your own spirit, your own lack of spirituality. Let's hope that this lovely grand trine brings back harmony and love and removes fear, because we've just had enough of fear. I've had enough of fear. I'm sick to death of fear and doomful demographics. We can turn it round. We just have to find our true love, make lots of babies with them, have happy families, and that's all you have to do. It's really simple. It's just normal, natural, natural, that's the word, natural, nature, law. That's all you have to do. Easy. Oh, there is one more thing as well. Intuition. This is another thing, because obviously the media is lying to us all the time. The media is the big criminal here. That's what we have to defend ourselves against. It's not really any religion, so to speak. It's the media, which is the new religion, you know, and it's stupid Hollywood stars who seem to think they're all like some kind of saints, with all their virtue signaling as well. And, you know, or their gods or goddesses, whatever, you know, that's what's taken over spirituality and polluted it, and it's just a poison, basically. So if we brush up our intuition, which is also part of this water grand trine as well, then we can trust our gut feelings. We don't have to worry about whether we're doing something wrong. We don't have to consult what does the media say about this? You know, what does somebody else say about this? Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that? You know, your intuition will say it. You can say that if you want. And if it offends someone, it offends someone. From now on, I think I'm going to, I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I don't know whether I'm going to just take a break from YouTube while I work on my website, because there's a lot to be done on that, or I might just continue with the moon posts, but just without the rants, because that's only about 10 minutes and I can just do the YouTube version of my post and just read from my notes. So that's easy. That only takes me doesn't take long at all. It's just the rants. I have to sort of think about what I'm going to say a bit more, and then I end up sort of editing it a little bit as well. So it takes up more time. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do. The problem is, as ever, is also, you know, I have to live. I've decided I need to live my life, and making these videos is quite time consuming for the money that it makes. You know, I have to support myself and my daughter as well. So the website actually does do that, and I've neglected that. So I need to get back to the writing and finish the deckhands as well. So I just thought I'd, you know, just keep you in the loop, because if you wonder why there's no videos after this one for a while, this is why. And yeah, I think we get sort of, you know, I'm a lady, and I get burnout, really. I'm a sensitive soul, and all I can do, you know, I've done my duty. I've said what's on my mind. I haven't held back, and so karmically, I think I'm sort of balanced with what I know and what I feel like I need to say. And there are so many commentators out there now. There's some really, really good people on YouTube who are just doing great philosophy discussions and talking about morals. And they're not all Christian, but they have a morality. They're basically conservatives, but not neocons, like conservatives, like in the true sense of the word, which is, you know, conserving the human race, basically, and our little segment of it, because obviously it's a rich and vibrant human race with lots of different diverse groups, and I don't want any of them to go extinct. You know, I don't want it to be just one global mashup. It's, at the moment, we have lots of unique, different tribes, and every single one of them is valuable. And just like animals, it's sad when one of them goes extinct. So it's all about conservation. That's all, really. So if you don't find me on YouTube for a while, I'm still going to be on Darkstar Astrology, the website. The 2019 horoscopes are coming out very soon. I aim to have them out by the end of June. Plus, I'm going to make the 2018 ones free once the 2019 are up. So there's plenty on Darkstar to keep you keep you going, really, until I come back to YouTube. I will come back to YouTube. It's just, I think I feel like I need to concentrate on the website for a while. All right then, all the best, and thanks so much for your support. Bye-bye.